Orange Lutheran, home of the Lancers. Orange Lutheran has won many league and CIF titles in a variety of sports, and the football team has provided its share of championship banners here. Welcome to the OCVarsity.com Gridiron Show. I'm Steve Fryer here with Carlos Arias. Behind the camera, we've got Jonathan Khamis doing all the directing, producing, editing, mixing, and all the other stuff in his efforts to make us look smart. Dan Albano is not here. He's hanging out by the pool, Carlos.
Yeah, he's just trying to keep from not drowning. I hope he has his floaties on.
Well, he's actually covered water polo, so the dude's working. It's week 6. It's the first week of league play in a lot of leagues, and we got some great games coming up. We got 4 games, Carlos, in which top 10 teams in Orange County are playing each other. Let's start with one I know you're kind of interested in. San Clemente at Trabuco Hills. That's number 5 San Clemente. They're 6-0. Trabuco Hills is 5-1. You know, myself, I think that San Clemente's just got too much for Trabuco Hills, although Trabuco's got a great running back. Both teams have good running backs.
Yeah, don't overlook Miles Simonson from Trabuco Hills, and Mike Elspiro is supposed to be back. He had that left sprain, so he'll be back in the lineup for San Clemente. San Clemente had a couple weeks where they were a little off after that overtime win over Mater Dei, but I think they're going to be ready to go. This will be a real physical game. Yeah,
you going with me? San Clemente wins that one?
I think so, yeah. The Tritons are going to win this.
All right, right on. Okay, another game that we've got. This is a Thursday game. Los Alamitos against Edison. That's number 7, Los Alamitos. They're 4-1. Their only loss was to Santa Margarita. This is kind of a tough one to call in a lot of people's minds, I'm sure, Carlos, but I think that Los Alamitos, they have a lot of offensive weapons, man. Not just Cody Paul, but they've got one of the county's better receivers in Kyle Roberts and a pretty good quarterback, Dylan Lagarde. And I like their defense. It's fast, it's hard hitting. I got Los Al in this one.
Yeah, you know, I saw Los Al play Santa Margarita, and it wasn't their most impressive night. Yeah. But one thing you got to say is Cody Paul is explosive. He can take off and break a huge one at any time he touches the ball. Like you said, Dylan Lagarde can get the job done. Edison, I'm not sure. I mean, their losses were to great teams. So what do you make of that? You know, there's no shame in losing to those teams. But I think I'm gonna give the edge to Los Al. All
right. Also another Thursday game. It's a Trinity League contest. It's number 2 Santa Margarita. They're 5-0, looking pretty good, and they're playing Mater Dei, which is 2-3. But they've got a couple big wins under their belt in the last couple weeks. They beat Edison in a last-minute, very exciting game. Then they kind of worked over Gardena last week. This is a Thursday game at Santa Ana Stadium. You know, it's a Mater Dei home game, but I don't care where they play this game, Carlos. I think Santa Margarita is just way too complete a football team. I think they win this game.
Yeah, I know we're agreed on everything, but I think you're right, man. I mean, Mater Dei, the only teams they've lost to have been really good teams. Santa Margarita is one of those really good teams. I mean, you know, I just see Johnny Stanton and Ryan Wolpen taking care of business. Plus that defense on Santa Margarita, they're going to be all over Ryan McMahon. They get a big-time pass rush on people, so I think he's going to be running for his life in that one.
Another Trinity League game. It's the game of the week, and it's the reason we're here at Orange Lutheran High School. The Lancers behind us getting ready to play Servite High School on Friday over at Cerritos College. Number 1 Servite against number 3 OLu. I think Servite's really a tough team. Very hard to beat, very physical group. Orange Lutheran's going to bring it too, but I like Servite in this game, Carlos.
Yeah, you know, I don't know. These Orange Lutheran guys are starting to win me over, man. I mean, you know, Connor Sullivan having a great year. One of the guys that we're talking about, maybe, you know, offensive player of the year.
Sure.
I still want to check his ID, though. He doesn't look like he's a senior. He looks like he's about 14. Right. But he's having a great year. They got the big tight end, CK, going to Florida State. Yeah. Deion Williams on defense. I mean, we got an upset happening?
What do you call it?
I'm calling it, man. I think it's going to happen.
All right, Orange Lutheran it is for Carlos. That's a pretty gutsy pick. And for more on what's going on with Orange Lutheran football, we caught up with Coach Jim Kuna and a couple of his players.
I think any good team who goes up against them, if you turn the ball over, you're in deep trouble. And if you don't come physical and play physically, then you're in trouble as well, because they are one of the most physical teams, if not the most physical team on the West Coast, that's for sure.
They're obviously a great team, otherwise they wouldn't be ranked so high. They wouldn't have such a good record, and you know, we respect them a lot, and so we're working hard just like we do every other week, and trying to come out on top.
Every game is a championship game. I mean, Servite, Mater Dei, Margarita, Bosco, J. Sarah, everybody's good. So we just got to come in, you know, have team unity and know that this is a championship game. We just got to come out and work hard to do the very best we can.
We're usually not known as a hard-hitting team, but we're going to prove a lot of people wrong this week.
You know, it is week 6 of the season. The season's about halfway over. Let's take a look at maybe who are the halfway point players of the year. For my pick for Offensive Player of the Year thus far, and it could change. There's still a lot of ball to be played. I really like what Santa Margarita running back junior Ryan Wolpen has done. He's run for a lot of yards, scored some touchdowns. He's done pretty well in returning kicks. He's just been an all-around fine player. You know, it's not like a close case at all. It's still a pretty wide-open competition, but I think Wolpen be my guy, sort of my early leader. How about you for Offensive Player of the Year, Carlos?
You know, I was thinking of some of the quarterbacks and running backs,
Yeah.
but you know who's standing out to me is Kyle Murphy on San Clemente. The dude flattens people.
Yeah.
If you just focus in on him, and rarely do you focus in on just the lineman, there's bodies flying during the game. I mean, number 78 is just launching people. I mean, they put Mike Ellis-Spiro back there. He can just run through massive holes. It's pretty impressive, and I've rarely, thought to even mention a lineman in Offensive Player of the Year, but that's who I'm going with.
Also, a Defense Player of the Year, Carlos. And this is also, to me, it's sort of a two-pony race right now. But again, we have to really look at a lot of ball to be played. I kind of like Aaron Porter, the senior linebacker at La Habra. The time I saw him against Servite, he was a one-man wrecking crew, and I thought he was rather impressive. He would be my pick right now for Defensive Player of the Year in Orange County football. Who do you like?
God, it's hard to argue that one, but I'm going with the Butcher, man.
Yeah.
Butch Pau. I mean, that guy, he can drop back into coverage. He can attack the quarterback. He's making tackles everywhere. I mean, I love the guy. But Porter's right up there, too. That's a good battle. We should throw him in a cage and let him fight it out.
All right, maybe we'll do that at the end of the season, but there's still a lot of games to be played before we get to the end of the season. Carlos, we'll be having some more discussion of that as the year goes on and a look at all these great football games. It is week 6 of the Orange County High School football season. Some great games on tap here at OCVarsity.com, but we've got you covered.